introduce you today, if you're not from the South, to something that you may not know what it is. When you look at this, you think it's bacon, but no, this is not bacon. This is streakoline, or streak of lean, but we always call it streakoline. So what is streakoline? Well, it is from the same part of the pig as bacon, but it's cured differently and it's cut differently. If you'll notice, there's still some skin on it, and it's very, very salty. Bacon is usually salt cured. Bacon is usually sugar cured. Has lots of nice flavors. Streakoline has nice flavors too, but it's cured with salt. It's cut thicker. It's more like fatback, or it's called salt pork too. So the difference in fatback and streakoline is that you have way more lean. This particular streakoline is very lean. Sometimes when you get it, it has just a small little streak through it. Hence the name, streakoline. So this is very salty, so we're going to rinse it off just a little, and then I'm going to show you how we cook it. We're going to do two things with it this morning. One is we're going to have it with our breakfast, just like bacon. You have to cook it more slowly, and I'll show you that. And the other is I have some dried beans on, and I'm going to use at least one slice of this and some of the grease that comes out when we fry it to season those beans. And I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, I have washed the streakoline. Just washed any excess salt. I didn't soak it. A lot of people soak it and try to get all the salt off, and we don't. We like to leave a little salt. This is my BS&R breakfast griddle, and I'm going to put just the tiniest little bit of oil. And yes, it is fat meat, so it will have oil in it, but I like to start out with just a little, even though this is a well-seasoned pan. A little oil helps conduct the heat and give you a nice crispy piece of meat. So I have done what you've seen me do many times before. I've washed this and then put it on a clean cloth, clean kitchen cloth, to dry it off a little bit. And I'm going to have my heat fairly low, probably lower than you would cook bacon. This is at 3 out of 9, 3.5 out of 9. And I'm going to watch for this oil to start separating and rippling, so I know we've got some heat going. And then I'm going to put bacon presses on this. Come back in about a minute. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's been about a minute. Oh, this is some very nice lean streak lean, and I'm moving it around in the pan because cast iron really conducts the heat pretty slowly. So I want to move the pieces that were in the middle to the outside and the pieces that were on the outside to the middle so they'll cook pretty evenly. So this has been about a minute, minute and a half. Fred came and turned my heat down a little bit. He said I was cooking it too fast. So my heat's down to just below 3. I'll be back. Okay, we're getting pretty close to done here. Or at least some of it is. What you hear in the background is my coffee maker. Because I'm making a cup of coffee to make red-eye gravy. Because folks usually think of red-eye gravy with ham, but I promise red-eye gravy with streak lean is good stuff. You know, usually when I'm frying things, I say leave them alone, don't worry with them, don't fuss with them. But when you're frying streak lean, or bacon for that matter, lots of turning is a good thing. Okay, we're coming to the end here. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to take this up onto a paper towel. And let those brown just a tad more. Okay, we've taken up our streak lean. And here is the last step. If you're not familiar with red-eye gravy, it's pretty common in the South. And generally it's with fried ham. We always had it with fried bacon or streak lean or fatback. You want to, I've turned the heat down to 2, and I'm going to scrape the pan just a little bit because I want to loosen up the fond. But basically red-eye gravy is just deglazing your pan with coffee. And it's the easiest thing in the world to make, but I've turned the heat down. It's still a pretty hot pan, and this is going to splatter. So don't steam yourself. And well, what am I going to do with that? And what you're going to do with it is open up a hot biscuit and put it on your hot biscuit, just like any gravy. And all I'm doing now is making sure all of the good little crackly bits, the fond, are loose from the pan. Let it sit here and simmer slowly for just a few minutes. Actually, for maybe 1 minute. And then we're going to pour it up into a bowl, and it's all ready. Turn the heat off. There you go. Red-eye gravy. Be right back. Well, here you go. Strickling and red-eye gravy. You know, if you're not used to red-eye gravy, you may not think that's great, but that is great. It's just wonderful over a biscuit. And this Strickling is really great. It's crispy and it's very, very salty. So just be aware, if you're expecting bacon just because it looks like bacon, don't, because it's not bacon. It's Strickling, salt pork with big streaks of lean. Nice and crunchy and yummy. Thank you for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. See you again later.